Hi everyone, welcome into this week's My Weekly CBS Fix. Hope you had an amazing Passover. This week's video is dedicated, first of all, as a refuah shlema for Rivka Bas Rachel, a 29-year-old mother that had brain surgery not long ago. May she have a refuah shlema. And also, it is dedicated to the memory of Rabbi Avigdoe Miller of blessed memory, who was one of the American leaders in Torah Jewry. He was a Torah giant. A lot of the thoughts, Mr. Shem, that I'm saying will be from him. May his memory be a blessing. So in this week's Parsha, Parshas Achray Mos, which talks about the death of Aaron, after Aaron, the high priest, lost his two children. So in the middle of the Parsha, the Torah says the following verse: Ushmartem es chukosai ves mishpatai, you should keep all my decrees and all my laws. Asher yasa osam ha'adam v'chai b'hem, that a man should do and live by them. Ani Hashem. Now Rashi comments, what does it mean v'chai b'hem, and live by them? So Rashi says it means not in this world, but it means in the next world. It's obvious because a person's not going to continue living, but rather there's life beyond this world. And that's certainly something that's very paramount to Jewry, it's paramount to Judaism, and it's something that I want to talk to you a little bit about because it'll certainly help us in service of Hashem if we have a little understanding of Olam Haba. Now, of course, this cannot be concentrated all into a 3 to 4 minute video, so we'll try to get in some thoughts nevertheless because of how important it is. And one thing we have to keep in mind is that we all try to live lives of happiness. Now, ultimately, there can never be real, true happiness in this world, because even if somebody's sick and they get better, of course the happiness is immense. And if somebody becomes bar mitzvah and somebody gets married and they have children, ultimately everybody is going to pass away. And we're never going to also fully accomplish everything in life that we want to accomplish. Our sages tell us that a person will go his whole life and half of his desires won't even be fulfilled. That means even if he's done a million things, he hasn't come even halfway. And so therefore we have to realize that we're not really here for this world. Hashem did not put us in this world in order to enjoy this world for the sake of this world. Hashem put us in this world to enjoy this world for the sake of the next world. And so therefore, we have to understand that, like our sages tell us, that this world is just like the vestibule. It's like the outer hallway before the main ballroom. When you go to a wedding, you come in, and let's say it's raining outside, so you take off your coat, you brush yourself off, you check your hair, you look in the mirror, make sure you look good, and now you walk into the main ballroom. You can't walk in from the outside into the main ballroom. You don't look good. And so therefore, the world to come is the main ballroom. And this world over here, we're just here to dress ourselves up, make sure we look good. And that's what we're here for. And there's only the foolish person sits out in the hallway and goes, yeah, but the bar is there. We can watch the game. Or there's a pool table over there. That's just all side stuff. That's not the main reason why you came to this event here tonight. You came to this event for the wedding that's taking place over there, or for whatever else it may be that you came for. Secondly, it's impossible for us to understand anything about this world unless we understand that there is a world to come. We can't understand why there's suffering. We can't understand why there's a Holocaust. We can't understand why Hashem seems to reward the wicked while the righteous seem to suffer. Nothing makes sense. And so therefore, we have to realize is that nothing makes sense because ultimately there's a world beyond this world. And when it seems that somebody is seeming to be suffering, Hashem is only allowing them to suffer a very short, minute amount of time compared to the endlessness of the world to come. And in the world to come, the joy of the world to come will be that we'll sing Hashem's praises and we'll see how amazing everything is. Of course, the idea is not to wait till the next world to come and then realize it then, but Hashem wants us to realize it now. And it'll help us realize it when we realize that there is a world to come and everything will be balanced out over there as well. One time, the Lubavitcher Rebbe of blessed memory, he was one time threatened with a gun. And Lubavitcher Rebbe responded to him, your toy is only a threat to somebody who has a million gods in one world. But somebody like me that has one God in two worlds, not a threat. What he meant was somebody who only believes in this world, so the person's about to leave this world, the gun is a big threat to him. He's got a million gods. Who are his million gods? His toys, his money, his games, everything that he likes to do, his vacations, whatever he wants to do. And that gun, therefore, is a threat to all that ending. And if he dies, he believes there's only one world. But the Lubavitcher said, but to me, there's two worlds and there's only one God. I'm here to serve Hashem. If I have to die, I have to die. I'm just going to go upstairs to the next world. You're not really threatening anybody over here. And so we have to realize, are we people that are locked down to this world, or are we people that are always having our focus on the world to come? I like to give the example, I may have said this before, so if I did, but I like to give the example of people that are waiting for a flight, and eventually the announcement comes over the loudspeaker that flight so-and-so to wherever they're going has been canceled or delayed, and everybody's all downtrodden. Everybody drops their suitcases, and everybody's waiting. So what do? You go to duty free, you go around the airport, you go to that club room, whatever it is. You try to go to something to keep your attention. And finally, the announcement comes out a loudspeaker that a certain passenger that was on the canceled flight, they found them an extra spot, and that person gets up, and they're all happy. They finally get to get on the plane. And what happens? Everybody else, oh, you're so lucky, you finally get to go home. And eventually, we all want to go home. And the truth is that it's just a parable. That eventually, we're all here in this big earth called the terminal. And eventually, Hashem is going to call all of our names. And one day, we get told, don't worry, your name's not called, your flight was canceled, you get to stay in this world a little longer. So what do? We run to the duty-free, and we want to bring back gifts for our loved ones and for our family. What's the duty-free? The duty-free is the synagogue. And over there, there's as many mitzvos and Torah that you want to do as much as you can grab. And you want to bring it back to your Father in heaven on the other side. And so therefore, eventually, though, our names are going to be called. We're eventually going to go home. We're going to go to the future. Now, hopefully, we have the right baggage in our hands. We've taken the right things from the duty-free and not the foolish things. We're not going to run around and do the wrong things. So hopefully this video will be, like I said before, a merit for Rivka Bas Rachel, and all these things that I told you were all things that I heard from Rabbi Avigdoe Miller. May his soul have an aliyah, may it ascend higher and higher in the world to come, and may we all utilize our own lives in this world in order to be able ourselves to sing in the world to come. If you sing in this world, you'll sing in the world to come as well. Have a great Shabbos, and thank you for listening.